Don't shake wooden spoons at me, you scared me then. Now then, Barbies. We've got Dannii here today, the Aussies, they love a Barbie, so we thought we'd get John Tarodes in, especially for you, Dannii. Look, is this an Australian thing?
Well, I'll tell you what I'm doing. Well, I'm doing this because apparently this is a winter indoor barbecue.
Apparently so.
And because it's so cold outside, I'm warming my hands. But actually, what it does, it gives you an idea of how hot your Barbie should be.
Okay.
If you hold your hand like that, you feel that there, right?
Yes.
That's hot, isn't it?
That's very hot.
And when you cook a barbecue or cook something like that, you've got to have it really seriously
I can only
hot.
get to there, yeah.
Like really, really hot.
Go on, I'll help you.
It's important I feel this, John, because I'm the Barbie man in our house.
But, you know, yeah, traditionally in Australia, girls are not allowed near the barbecue.
No, that's absolutely right.
Even if the
we make the salads, and the guys, they do the manly stuff. They cook the Barbie.
Well, because it is a Barbie and you're a veggie, Dannii, I'm going to do something in honour of you. These mushrooms, just some flat mushrooms, lots and lots of rosemary on top of them, a little bit of oil, not that you'd eat much, but anyway, that's all right, because there's a lot of water in the mushrooms, so we're going to grill them off. And you can do this either on a barbecue or on a griddle, but again, really hot.
What's that, salt?
Decent amount of salt, a decent amount of pepper, and I'm going to put those on a griddle here.
And are you putting the oil on to let it soak in a bit then?
Yeah, just let that soak in, because there's enough water in the mushrooms, actually, as they grill away, that they will cook nicely. And then get those going for a little while, and then we're going to top them with some halloumi cheese and serve them with some pita bread and some hummus.
Now, the weather, they say the forecast is pretty good for the weekend, so you might venture outside, but if not, you get these griddle pans, do you, to go on top of the...
Yeah, the idea is to get something which will get really seriously hot. And when we do the next bit, because my favourite ingredient in the world is beef. I know you don't eat it.
Talking of which, Amy...
Yeah. Now, the interesting thing about that, John's got this book. No, I'll tell you what's really interesting about this book. Not so much the book itself, but which is beautiful, But on the front, very, very clever, you take the cover off the front of this book, John, and just the way you used to go into butchers in olden days, you get this fantastic chart of the best cuts and where they should be.
And that's available on John Tarodes Beef.
There you are. Excellent.
But what I've got here, because I really, really love beef, but I like beef on a Barbie that cooks fast, or big hunks that cook really slow. So and again, it needs to smoke like this, so, you know, sort of inside or outside. And all I've done is cut up some beef, just shredded some beef, whether it be rump steak or anything like that, marinated in a bit of soy sauce. I think there's something nice about Asian flavours with outside cooking.
Very Aussie, isn't it?
It is really Aussie, yeah. And you sort of need those flavours of woody herbs and Asian and spices and stuff like that. And then what I've done is I've got these little skewers, so they don't burn on a barbecue, you soak them in water.
Okay.
And if you soak them in water, they won't burn. Thread the little bits and pieces onto the skewer. And I did... What? Look, watch this, Dannii.
Yeah!
Beautiful.
Do that.
Anyway, so then these are sort of inspired by the sort of Thailand markets where you go and they're just cooked really quickly. And we're going to make a peanut sauce. And a peanut sauce you can do with whatever you like, whether it be a piece of fish or whether it be your mushrooms or whatever you want.
Do you eat fish?
Yes.
Yes.
Good. Well, that's great. The peanut sauce is really actually quite simple. I wanted to do it with Vegemite, but they've only got peanut butter, so because Vegemite sauce doesn't really work very well. Coconut milk.
You'd need your extractor fan on for this, wouldn't you?
Well, that's the whole idea of barbecue. You do it outside, and actually, even if you chuck your coat on, you'll be fine. Peanut. Then yes,
is that crunchy peanut butter?
Crunchy peanut butter, red curry paste, some sesame oil, a little bit of brown sugar, because you want sort of sweet and hot as well as everything else. And then a bit of fish sauce, which smells disgusting but tastes delicious. Okay. Put all that onto the boil, and away you go, and it ends up like this. So that's our curry sauce.
And boil it and then what? Simmer it down?
Just breathe the boil, it'll come together. Okay. Now, mushrooms, if they grill away, will end up sort of something like this in here. And then the idea is to put halloumi on top. And Dannii knows all about halloumi.
Do you? Tell us about halloumi, Dannii.
Cypriot cheese.
Cypriot cheese, yeah.
It's just yummy. I mean, in Australia, we have that grilled all the time.
Yeah, absolutely delicious. Drop that underneath the grill, and then we're going to put that with some nice little pita breads and some hummus. Now,
you can't get halloumi then. What sort of other cheese could you use for that?
Well, you could probably use something like feta. But the thing is, we're talking about, you know, we're talking about actually the ideas of summer flavour. So you want to go, you think about Cyprus and Greece and, you know, all those sort of places that really inspire. And the Australians, if you think about what happened, was, you know, during the 1950s, lots of Italians and lots of Greeks came to Australia. So a lot of the food we eat actually is inspired by that. And again, the Asian influences. And that's why we have such you know, a diverse cuisine in Oz.
I love the way you still say Australia.
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 I try every so often to say
Missing home.
say France. You know, the other day, my 4-year-old son, I said, Jonah, do you want some yogurt? And he went, Papa, it's not yogurt, it's yogurt. 4, no, it's not. Anyway, those are sort of cooking away there. Can you pass me that little red plate?
There you go.
And this is so quick. The idea is now you want to be able to have something acid to eat through the meat a little bit. You've got your sauce, which is our lovely peanut sauce. Chuck that into a little bowl. But I think you're absolutely right. You've got to get your extractor fan on or go outside with your coat on.
Yeah.
It might be a good place to put Eamon when you decide you want to get rid of him for a while.
He's often locked in the garden with his coat on, aren't you, love?
I'll make you a deal. If you go out and clean down the Barbie, I promise I'll do the cooking on Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah. I think I've got the raw deal there.
Right. Well, I don't know about that. That sounds good to me. A good hunk of coriander, because coriander, I think, again, is sort of about the sunshine. And then those little sautés come off our Barbie area and just stack on a plate. And I know I'm not going to put them near you, Dannii. Don't worry about it. It's fine. It's all OK.
Don't worry. We'll let you take
one.
the mushrooms.
Now, the next one is my little mushies. Take a bit of pita bread out of the oven.
How often do you get home? When's your next trip home? Are you so busy now?
Depends what's happening with family.
Yeah.
But my brother's got a new little baby on the way, so as soon as I can after X Factor, I'll be heading home.
How are you going to be aunties again? It's a second.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
OK, so now the idea is that I'm going to have these little hot pita breads, and I'm going to be putting some hummus inside there, and then you just pick up these little boys here, our halloumi, which is nice and warm, and our mushrooms, and drop those inside there, and then chuck them onto a little plate without that slop all over the joint. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Unbelievable, Tarodes. Anyway, but
presentation is all.
No, because I'm clever, you see, because I know what happens goes on this bread, and you run out of time, and this little one's done here already.
That's beautiful.
And you put that on there, and then you put that on there, and I've also done a salmon dish, and what I need to do is tell you how that salmon dish was done.
OK.
That is
We've
very
no time to
simple.
do that
But it'll
today.
be all on our website.